So what is meant by split? Like in the AutoCAD, we are having a divide command. Here in the Revit, we are having a split option. The basic difference what we have between the divide and the split is divide, split, both are same. But in the split, we are having one more option called as split with gap. That means when it is going to divide, it will provide some offset distance. Like minimum, I can say as 1 inch. Yeah, as per the theoretical point of view, I can say it is giving a value of something like 1 by 16 inch in the imperial system if you're working, or 0.16. That means this much amount of minimum value you have to enter whenever you're going to work with the gap option. So first thing here you can see split element. So by using a split tool to divide elements into two separate parts, that means if you want to divide two blocks, like a wall, for example, or you can go with a line also. So we are going with split element option. Then again, we have split with gap. That means if you are going to provide some exact defined gap between the two walls, you are going to define the joint gap over here. Like here in my case, as an example, I have taken something like 6 inches. This is what the difference we have. So here is nothing but the split. If you're going with gap, you can also provide some gap also. It means it will break, it will provide some distance, like 6 inches, 1 inches, whatever you're going to provide. So please highlight this point, like 1 by 16 or 0.16 is the minimum value what you have to enter. If you're entering less than this, it will not work. This is the value what you have to enter. So please highlight these points, 1 by 16 and 0.16. So let's go with the plan for the example. So here you can see in the modify tab, we have got the modify panel, and here the top two things what we can see is a split element, and we have got split with gap. These two things we have got. So first, when you're going to select the split element, when you select this, you will be getting a direct option to break a wall. As you can see here, wherever you want to break, you can break the wall. Like when you are going to select this, what is happening? You are going to get an end mark over here. That means the complete one entity of wall has been divided into two blocks. This is one block for me and this is one block for me. Right? We have got one more option in this, nothing but called as split with gap. That means if you want to divide with some offset distance, in that case, we go with split with gap. So when I'm going with this value, as you can see, he is asking me the joint gap value. Like I'm going with something like 6 inches. That means in the options bar, I have entered 6 inches as a distance value. So when you're going to select this, from the center of the selection, 3-inch offset on either side, it will divide. 3-inch offset on the either side, it will divide. Please make a note of this. It's very, very important. So whenever you're going to work with the parapet walls, or if you're going to provide any kind of balusters, so there we are going with this type of options, split with gap and only a split. Like in the AutoCAD, we have got the divide. It's very simple command, you can say. Next, we have got an option of joining walls. So this I'll be showing you along with an exercise. In the split, there is a continuation, okay, to provide a split with gap option. So this, as well as the unjoining option, these two things I'll be providing you along with an exercise. Hopefully in after 3 or 4 classes. Okay, once when we have done with the chapter 3 and chapter 4, okay, when we start the exercises, there I'll be showing you these two options. So for that, for time being, just keep this as hold. Yeah, Mr. Kritish.
I want to know, suppose if you haven't, if you want to make it less than 0.16 in your case, then what do you do then if you have that situation?
You have to draw two.
Everything, okay.
Separately, you have to draw. Like I'm going to draw a line, a wall. So I'm going to draw a wall from here to here. So at whatever distance, like you want to draw another wall with some specific distance. So what I do is I'll go with an offset. I'll provide one model line which is less than 0.16 mm from here to here. This is only a reference.
Yeah.
Why I have taken this? Because I want some median between the two walls, a gap between the two walls. So again, I'm going to select the wall. From any point of view, you can able to sketch this, whichever point. So can you see we have got a gap? But anyhow, it is automatically getting attached. Less than this, it will attach.
The mirror also should work,
You
right?
can go with mirror also. Yes. You can go with mirror. Mirror also. Like, let's check with mirror also. Mirror pickaxes. Yeah, here you can see. Can you see this is a separate wall and this is a separate wall? Two walls are separate. And when you open the 3D view, you can see very clearly. This is a separate wall and this is a separate wall. If you want to open any elevation view from where you can able to see that, so you can see that also. On the north side, we got this view. On the east side, it's not visible at all. In the west side, mostly. Yeah, here you can see. It's not visible. Let's make a sketch option. It is moving, but it is not making any kind of impact on the plane.
Yeah.
Like you can see, it's moving.
Correct.
We have got one more option of disjoint. So you have to disjoin the wall and you can see. Can you see a gap over here? I have taken 0.1 inch over here. Initially, it will be into the allow option as we are pending with this topic. So how to provide, okay, the joining gap, this side, as well as how to go with unjoining gap. These two things I'll be explaining you along with the exercise. Timing, you can see, you have to take one reference line. Taking that as reference line, we can make a gap between the two walls. If it is less than some specific value. Next, we have got the trim. So these are all the modified commands only. So what is meant by trim? Removing unwanted edges or corners is called as trim. Removing unwanted edges or the corner is called as trim. Here in the trim, basically we are having three options. Same like in the AutoCAD also we are having some options now. So those options are a replica over here. So by using the trim and extend tool to trim or extend one or more element, that means being in trim, you can also extend the line to a boundary or a reference line, what you're going to specify. You can also extend non-parallel elements also, means the lines which are horizontal or vertical or which are not facing to each other. Those are called as non-parallel lines from a corner, or trim them to form a corner if they intersect. If you want any kind of right angle bend of 90 degrees, we can also go with trim. So when you select an element to be trimmed, the cursor position indicates the part of the element to retain. You can use these tools with walls, line, etc. So this command, nothing but the trim option, is applicable only for the walls and lines. Please make a note of this. Even for some other parts also, like when you're going with electrical wiring, when you're going with HVAC ducts and trims, there also you can use, no issues with that. But as architect point of view, we are going to use in these two areas, for the walls as well as for the lines. So first option what we have is trim or extend to corner. This is the first option what we have. So if you want, like you have got one reference line and this is the other point where you want exactly a 90 degrees of angle. So in that case, we are going with trim or extend to corner, means we are going to remove the unwanted and we are going to extend the corner part so that this looks something like this. This is called as trim, extend to corner. Next, we have got trim or extend single element. That means you want the extended part also, and you want the same line which you want to extend to the reference point. So this is called as trim or extend single element. Again, the third one, what we have called as trim or extend multiple elements. Like here we have got the single. In the next case, we are having some multiple. Like this is the reference wall. So all this wall I want to extend till here. So in this case, we go with trim or extend to multiple elements. So it's very simple to understand. So first thing here is what? It helps to trim or extend two selected elements to a corner. Go for the modify tab, modify panel and go for the trim. Select each of the elements. When selecting an element that needs to be trimmed to form the corner, make sure you click the part of the element to be written figure 16. Like here you can see I'm drawing a simple wall. And I got a portion something like this. I'll draw a simple line. So when you are going with the trim option, so go for the modify. In the modify panel, you can see we have got three things. One is trim or extend to corner. The next we have got trim or extend single element. The third one what we have got is trim or extend multiple elements. So this is the first option what we go. That means you want these two lines, these two walls to get in 90 degrees bend. So you are going to select this one and this one. So what is happening? It will remove the unwanted part. It will extend, okay, till the end point. So which gives you a 90 degrees of angle. This is called as trim or extend. Again, you can see, okay, we have got the next option for the single element. Like I'm going to draw a wall. I'm going to draw a wall from here to here. So this wall I want to extend till here. So I'll be going with the second option. So you can see trim or extend single element. So first what you have to do, you have to provide the reference plane. This is the reference plane. And this wall I want to extend till here. Okay, this wall. This is the single option. If you're having multiple, like what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this. I'm going with some copy option. I'm copying this for some multiple times. I'll just provide a gap first. Yeah, I'll copy now. So go for the copy from here to here. Again, I'll go with the copy from this point to this point. So these three walls or n number of walls you want to extend till this point. So we are going with trim with multiple option. So here you can see trim or extend multiple elements. So now I'm going to select this and I'm going to select the wall. So what is happening? All the lines are getting selected. All the lines are getting selected over here. Following? In the same case, we have got one more option over here. Like if I'm going with the wall architectural over here. So I want to remove the lines from between. I want to remove all these lines from between. So I'll be going with trim or extend multiple option. So I'll select this line, trim or extend multiple element. Select this. Or you can select the two things. I'll be going with multiple option. So this is the first part and I'll select this. So what is happening? Whatever the unwanted lines which you want to remove, we can remove. So being in trim, you can extend also. Being in trim, you can remove the unwanted parts also, whichever you want. Like the next option, what we have in the trim is, for example, I'm selecting this. You want to remove this. So whichever point you want, you can remove either of the sides. If you're selecting this side and if you're going to select this, what is happening? The walls which are on the either sides will get deleted. Opposite side. I'll repeat again. For example, I'm going with a normal line. I'll go with some multiple lines over here. So select, go for the copy option. Okay, I'll be going with copy with multiple to be enabled because I want multiple copies. This line I'll extend a little bit. Now what I'm going to do, I will extend these lines being into multiple option, the last one. So you can select this and you can extend. This is one option what we have. The next option what I want to show is, for example, this line is there and being in copy and multiple. So I need these three portions. I've got this. So I want the unwanted lines to be removed from here. So what I do is I'll be going with trim extend to multiple. I'll select this line and I'll select the portion which I want to, okay, keep and which I want to remove. Whichever you want to remove, that should be unselected. And which you want to keep, that should be selected. Vice versa. I repeat again, I'll be going with multiple option from here. I'll select this line. I want to remove which area? I want to remove this area. So what I will do, I'll select the adjacent side. So what is happening? Whatever the unwanted part which you want to remove, that has to be selected. Whatever the reference line you are selecting based upon that. So being in trim, you can go with the extend also. Being in trim, you can go with single also. Being in trim, you can go with multiple extend or multiple trim also. These are the three options what we have over here. The next option, what I told you, trim or extend single element. That means if you want to remove one line or if you want to extend one line. So it helps to remove or extend one element to a boundary defined by other element. Go for the modify tab, modify panel, click trim or extend single element. Select the reference to use as a boundary. Like I have taken one side of the wall, I have taken a model line. So then select the element to trim or extend. If this element crosses the boundary or projection, the part that you click is retained. So you can please highlight this. Whichever reference line you are selecting and whichever part you are selecting, what is happening? The either of that will be removed and whatever you have selected will be retained. So the part on the other side of the boundary is trimmed over here. So please highlight this point. It's very, very important for the single option. When you go with the multiple option, the same concept, go for the modify tab, modify panel, select trim or extend multiple element, select the reference to use as a boundary. Okay, then select each of the element to trim or extend. By one click also you can extend. For any element that crosses the boundary, the part that you click is retained. The part on the other side of the boundary is stripped. So please highlight the complete third point over here. The first point and the third point you have to highlight so that you can able to practice very easily. This is very, very important. So for the align, it's only to understand here. We don't have the step-by-step procedure to work for the align options. So why use align? To adjust any object, to fit any object between the two endpoints is called as align. So use the align tool to align one or more elements with a selected element. This tool is generally used to align walls and lines. So it architecture point of view, we are going to use this only for the wall and align. Like in the AutoCAD, we can go with for the doors and windows also. But here for the doors and windows, we have to go with instance properties or the type properties. But for the walls and lines, you can go with the align option, but it can be used with other types of element as well. That is not with architect service. This is for the other services. So I'll be going with an example over here. Like I'll draw one wall. I will draw one wall over here. So this wall, I want to place exactly between these two endpoints. This wall, I want to place exactly in between these two because the dimensions are different. Here we are having some dimensions and the boundaries of these dimensions are different. So what I do, I'll be going with modify. And in the modify, you can see you'll be finding the option of align. You can see this is the align option. AL is the short. So he will be asking you, okay, prefer what center line or the entire surface. So whichever you want, you can select. Generally, we are going to sketch the line, okay, the wall with the help of the wall faces, finish face interior. So if you want from the center line also, you can select, okay, I'm going with wall faces, entire surface we want. And so this wall, I want to place till here. And this wall, I want to place till here. Following? So what is happening? Now this wall has been moved. So exactly as per this wall dimension, it has been aligned now. Now you have to drag, move and place. You have to drag, move and place. Whatever you want. So when I'm selecting this and when I'm going with move option, so what is happening you can see. So I'm placing exactly from here to here. So exactly it will fit between those two endpoints. So this command is applicable only for the wall as well as for the line only, not for any other thing. Like in the AutoCAD, we will go with for the doors and windows also. But here we are going with only for the walls and the lines. Following everyone? I repeat again. For example, this wall is of some dimension, and I want to fit this wall between these two walls, So what I do, I'll be going with modify. In the modify panel, you can see we have got the align option. So here you will be getting with an options like wall faces or the entire face. So as per your understanding, you can select. I'm going with wall surfaces and the entire surface. So select this as the first point and select this as a second point. Select this as a first point, select this as a third point. So what is happening? Exactly, it has been aligned. This wall exactly has been aligned. Now you can able to fit this object in between these two things. I hope it's very clear regarding the align. I hope it's very, very clear regarding the align option. Next, we are having the offset. So remember that when you go with offset, there is a small difference between the copy and offset in the Revit. When you go with wall, we have got an offset option and we have got a normal offset option. Here, as you can see here, we have got an offset, right? But when you are going with the wall option, like when you are going with wall, so by default, here you will be getting an offset option. So there is a difference between these two things. This offset, if you are selecting in the wall, it will never consider the wall thickness. The other offset, which is in your modify option, this will consider your wall thickness. Whenever we are going to mark any plan, so we are going to get the dimensions from the inner side of the face of the wall. So when you are going to work with wall, use the wall offset option. Don't go for this offset. Make sure about this. There is a difference because wall will have certain amount of thickness, like 9 inches, 4 inches. When you are going with normal line, you can go with this offset. Following everyone? So I'll be going with the offset. So here you can see we have got two things. One is graphical, one is numerical. The same like the scale command as we have seen. Graphical means what? You have to select the 2 points. Numerical means you have to enter the value like after 1 feet, 2 feet. Okay, at what distance? Like I'll be going with numerical. So 1 feet is a value. So copy has to be enabled. So I'll be selecting this wall. So what is happening? Exactly with respect to this, it has been an offsetted and a copy with a distance of 1 feet. The same thing you can see for the horizontal line also. I'm going with offset for the 1 feet. So select the line, you can see you have got the offset. So if you're going to keep at the upside, it will be at the upside offset. If you're going to keep at the bottom side, it will be at the downside offset. Based upon the cursor position, it will make an offset. Again, in the same offset, as we can see, we have got the graphical option. That means you have to provide some distance value. Like this wall, you want to mark till this distance. I don't know, randomly I'm selecting. So select this and actually, yeah. So select this, I'll be going with graphical option. So from this point to this point, now you want this line to be offsetted. So you can specify the point. So as per your distance, graphically what you want, you can able to provide. But in the Revit, we generally won't go with the offset. Okay, we go with the temporary dimensions only. These temporary dimensions will really help to modify your complete plan. Either if you go with copy or if you go with the offset, it will take time taking. So better always to get habituated to work with the temporary dimensions. So if you want to increase the length, whatever you want, you can select. Like if you want something like 9 feet, you can enter manually the 9 feet. So it will go. This is the best option. So why we use the offset? To make a replica. So use the offset tool or copy or move a selected model line, detail line, or a wall. So for these three things, generally we go with the offset option. So here we have to specify the particular distance. So you can apply the tool to single element or to chain of element belonging to the same family. The following restrictions apply to the offset tool. You can offset line walls in their own work planes only. What does this mean? Like whenever you're going to work with the floor plan, it will work only with the floor plan only. Like you're working with level 1. So the walls of level 1 should be visible. Like if you want to modify anything in the level 3, if you're opening the level 1, it won't be visible. The lines may be visible. You can go with the view settings and you can make it visible. But whichever work plane or whichever floor plan where you are working, if you're going to keep it enabled, there only it will work. So for example, if you sketch a model line whose workplace is set to floor plan, like something like level 1, any name you can give. So you can offset the line only in the plan view plane. Like we are into floor plan. Floor plan is what? Viewing from top. So it will be a 2D plan. So you cannot offset the walls created as in place families. So later on, I will show you what is in place family. So to offset an element or to copy an element, so click modify tab, modify panel, select offset. So we have got two things. One is graphical and numerical. Graphical means we have to mark the points. Numerical means you have to enter the value, like something like 2 feet, 3 inches, whatever you want, you can specify. Okay, so whatever the specified offset distance you are entering numerically, a preview line displays. Like if you are going to keep at the bottom side, the offset will be at the bottom side. If you're going to keep the cursor at the top side, it will make an offset at the top side. So as per the cursor position, it will make a offset. So move the cursor as necessary to display the preview line at a desired offset position and click to move or change to that position or to place a copy here. Alternatively, if you select the graphic option, so click to select the highlighted elements and then drag it to the desired distance and click again. After you start the drag and missing dimensions and you enter a specific offset distance. So please follow the theoretical part. It's very, very important. So this is the best option what we have in the offset. I hope it's very clear. Next, you can see we have got the pin. The name itself indicates it's like a attachment, I can say. If you're going to keep this, so in the AutoCAD, as we have got the lock option in the layer, so the same function we have here. So if you are going to provide a pin to any object or to any panel, so what happens is those objects or the panels cannot be modified. This is the best thing what we have. So whenever you're going to provide a pin, if you want to delete, what happens? It will give you the warning message showing that this element is pinned. So we are going to get a push pin icon. So if you want to keep, it has to be enabled. If you want to remove, it has to be disabled. So to prevent the movement of an element, generally we will go with pin. Like if you have if you want to be very specific with your coordinates or with the location of the object, so we have to pin an object. So go for the element tab, modify panel, pin, and then press enter. So you can select this one. And if you want to unpin, like we have got lock, unlock now in the AutoCAD in the layers, so same option we have got. So select the wall, go for the unpin option or unpin option from the same modify element tab, it will set for you. So you can see the same thing. I want this wall. As you can see, when you're going to select the wall, and if you're going to delete, automatically it will go. So what I am doing is I am selecting this wall. I'm going with modify, and here you can see in the modify, you can able to see the option of pin. Okay, now it has been disabled. Yeah, pin. This is unpin and this is pin. Can you see? So first I'll select the wall. I'll be going with pin option. So what is happening? Now you've got the pin. It will not be on the work plane. When you're going to select the wall only, it will get enabled. If you're going to delete this, what will happen? It will give you a warning message showing that this selected object is pinned. You cannot delete. You cannot delete. Like for example, if you want to go with move or if you want to go with another option also, it will not accept. So if you want to work with these kind of objects, what you have to do is first you have to unpin this. So select this one and go for the unpin option from here. So now it has been unpinned. Now as per your requirements, you can modify. You can move, you can delete, you can extract, you can drag, whatever you want you can do. So this is a simple option what we have in the pin and unpin. I hope it's very, very clear regarding this. If you have any queries, now you can please let me know. Please go through once what we have discussed. Ensure how to pin again. Yeah. So here you can see these walls, you want to make it as a pin. Like in the AutoCAD, we have got the lock option. So I'll be selecting these walls, and here in the modify element tab in the modify panel, we have got the option of pin. So what is happening? All the walls has been pinned now. Now, if you're going to select any of the walls or all the walls, if you're going to press delete, so it won't delete. So it will give you the warning message showing that these walls are pinned. So even if you want to move also, it will not accept because it has locked its coordinates, the positions, everything. So you cannot even move. So if you want to work with these kind of objects, it's very simple to unpin, select the wall, which are pinned, and go for the option of unpin from here. Go for the option of unpin from here. Now, whatever you want, you can do. If you want, you can move, delete, copy, whatever you want, you can do.